Have you ever seen someone clearly doing something harmful and felt that burning question in your chest? Should I say something? Or should I stay silent? And have you ever opened your mouth to correct someone, only to hurt the relationship so badly that you ended up wondering whether speaking up was actually a mistake? Welcome back to the channel, my friend. I'm really glad you are here. Today, we are going to dive into one of the most delicate and easily misunderstood parts of spiritual practice. What to do when you see someone else doing something wrong. You punt it out. You quietly endure. You walk away. Or is there a deeper, wiser way that is not just about changing the other person, but about awakening your own heart? Original teaching behind this topic reveals something that is far more subtle than a simple yes or no. It tells us that the real question is not only, should I speak, but from which level of mind am I seeing this fault? And with what kind of heart am I opening your mouth? The answer in authentic spiritual practice is not a fixed rule like, always correct people, or ever criticize anyone. Instead, it is a living wisdom that changes depending on your spiritual stage, your intention, and the actual benefit or harm that your words will bring. In this long, story-filled exploration, we are going to walk through different layers of this question. We will look at how awakened beings relate to the faults of others, how ordinary practitioners like you and me are invited to respond, how to tell whether your impulse to correct comes from compassion or from ego, how karma is secretly being shaped in those tiny moments when you decide to speak or to stay silent, and how this whole process can become an incredibly powerful path of awakening, wisdom, compassion, and transformation of destiny. Take a gentle breath. Bring to mind a recent situation where you used it to correct someone. Maybe a partner, a child, a colleague, a stranger online. Hold that memory softly in your heart as we begin, and see whether new insight arises as we unpack this together. There is a famous line in traditional teachings that says something like this: at the level of fully awakened beings, there is no seeing of faults or effects. Buddhists do not see the world as a field of enemies and idiots, because their sense of a separate, solid, easily offended self has dissolved. The ego that divides the world into me versus you, right versus wrong, my pride versus their pride, has been deeply transformed. Imagine a vast sky without boundaries. Clouds pass through it, storms rage, rain falls, lightning flashes, but the sky itself does not take sides. It does not say, this cloud is bad, that cloud is good. It simply allows all phenomena to appear and disappear according to causes and conditions. In the same way, an awakened mind sees clearly that every action, including what we call a mistake, is the ripened result of countless causes, habits, social influences, karmic tendencies, and unconscious pain. Rather than rushing to judge, such a mind understands. Rather than attacking the person, it sees the pattern. When a Buddha looks at someone who is acting cruelly, this mind does not say, what a disgusting human being. Instead, it sees a suffering consciousness trapped in ignorance, pushed around by past conditioning, desperately trying to protect itself in clumsy ways. And it responds with compassion. That compassion might take different forms, sometimes firm, sometimes soft, sometimes silent, sometimes very direct, but it is never driven by hatred or superiority. But here is the important thing. Most of us are not yet living permanently in that sky-like state. We are much closer to being small boats on the waves than the entire ocean itself. We still get triggered. We still take things personally. We still use the word you always and you never when we are angry. We still feel our jaw tighten and our chest burn when someone acts in a way that clashes with our values. So when we hear that awakened beings do not see faults, we might misunderstand and think, oh, if I want to be spiritual, I must pretend not to see anything wrong, must swallow all my discomfort, must never say anything that sounds like criticism. I should just smile, chant a mantra in my heart, and act as if everything is fine. On the surface, this can look peaceful. In reality, it often becomes a kind of spiritual suppression. You see your partner spending all their time on their phone, ignoring the children, slowly drifting away from the family. And you think, I should not judge. I should see their Buddha nature. So you stuff your pain down, but inside, resentment slowly builds, where smile becomes more and more forced, where body stores the tension, and one day, a small thing triggers you, and you explode with years of unspoken anger. This is not enlightenment. This is a pressure cooker. The traditional wisdom for ordinary practitioners is actually quite different. There are teachings that say very clearly, when you see someone close to you doing something harmful, and when your relationship is such that your words have a chance to help, you have a responsibility to offer gentle correction, especially when it comes to parents and children, teachers and students, close friends, colleagues in shared practice. The phrase often used is something like, if those close to you have faults, you should lovingly encourage them to change. Because as long as we are still full of ego and blind spots, we need the mirror of honest feedback. If the people around us see us walking toward a cliff and say nothing because they are afraid of conflict, that is not kindness, that is neglect. In fact, some texts say that being willing to gently correct someone you care about, even if they might not like it at first, is itself an act of compassion and responsibility. So watch someone create heavy karma and stay silent out of fear for your own comfort is to silently participate in their suffering. First glance, this might sound contradictory. On the one hand, we hear that awakened beings do not see faults. On the other hand, we are told that ordinary people should speak up when they see mistakes. Which is it? The answer is that both are true at different levels of the path. Imagine a staircase. The very top stands the fully awakened view, where the mind is so open and free that it no longer divides reality into good and bad people. At the middle levels are practitioners who are learning to balance honest correction with compassion. At the bottom are those who simply blame and attack without any self-reflection. If you are at the middle of the staircase, it is dangerous to imitate the posture of the top where your heart is still full of raw reactions. If you pretend to be beyond seeing faults when in fact your mind is full of judgment, you create a split inside yourself. You will say with your mouth, it is all karma, it is all empty, I do not see any problem. But your body and subconscious will be shouting, I hate this, this is wrong, why are they like this? The inner conflict will eat you from the inside. So for most of us, the real practice is not to close our eyes to what we see, but to open our eyes wider, to see both the apparent fault and the hidden causes behind it, and then to respond with as much wisdom and compassion as we can muster. Let us make this very concrete with a story. Imagine a young mother named Hen. Her teenage son spends hours every night scrolling his phone in bed, watching videos, playing games, chatting with friends. His grades are falling, his eyes are red. He is always tired and irritable. Every time Nana sees him like this, her heart tightens. One part of her wants to storm into this room and shout, what is wrong with you? You are wasting your life. Put that thing down right now. Another part whispers, if you say that, he will slam the door in your face and hate you even more, and you will just create more distance. So she oscillates between angry outbursts and guilty silence. One evening, after losing her temper yet again and seeing the hurt in her son's eyes, Anna sits alone in the living room and cries. She remembers something she once heard in a talk about compassionate communication, that before you speak to correct someone else, you should pause and check your own mind. She realizes that most of the time, when she is scolding her son, she is not actually speaking from life. She is speaking from fear and from unwounded pride. Fear that he will fail and she will have to carry the burden. Pride that says, how dare my child not listen to me, after everything I have sacrificed. She takes a few deep breaths and, for the first time, really allows herself to feel her love underneath the anger. She sees a small boy who used to run to her with his drawings, a child who once held her hand tightly at night when he had nightmares. She realizes that under the harsh words, what she truly wants is for him to be healthy, happy, and capable of taking care of himself. She whispers to herself, I am not here to win arguments with my son. I am here to help him grow. The next day, instead of bursting into his room at night and accusing him, She sits down on the edge of his bed while he is scrolling and says in a soft voice, I want to talk to you about something that is worrying me. I'm not here to attack you. I'm here because I care. I notice you are staying up very late with your phone. And I see you are exhausted in the morning. I know it is fine. I know your friends are online tonight. But I am also really worried about your health and your future. And we find a way together to take care of both your need for connection and your need for rest. Her son looks at her suspiciously at first, waiting for the usual explosion. But when it does not come, when he hears the tremble of genuine concern in her voice, something softens. Maybe he does not agree to every boundary she suggests, but the conversation happens in a different field. It is no longer a battlefield of ego against ego. It is two humans, one older, one younger, trying to understand each other. In this moment, Aya did correct her son. She did not pretend there was no problem. She corrected him from a different place inside yourself. Words came not from the desire to control, but from the desire to protect, not from a sense of superiority, but from vulnerability in life. This is a simple example of how the same action, pointing out a fault, can be spiritually dead or spiritually alive, depending on the intention behind it. We can extend this picture to other relationships as well. Think of a couple, Michael and Sarah. Michael has a habit of making sarcastic comments about other people, calling them idiots, mocking their mistakes. Sarah notices that this attitude makes her feel tense and unsafe, because she worries that he secretly judges her in the same way. For a long time, she stays silent. She thinks, if I say anything, he will accuse me of being too sensitive. But over time, her resentment builds, and her heart closes bit by bit. One evening, after dinner, Michael makes another cutting remark about a mutual friend's failure at work. Sarah feels the familiar sting. This time, instead of either exploding or swallowing it, she remembers her practice of honest but compassionate speech. She takes a breath and says, I want to share something with you, not to attack you, but because it matters to me. When you call people idiots, even if they are not here, my heart shrinks. It makes me feel scared that you might see me that way when I fail. And know you are smart and quick, and sometimes your comments are funny. But I also know you have a kind heart. Would like to live in a space with you where we speak more from that kindness. Her words are honest. She is clearly pointing to a fault. She is not saying, you are a terrible person. She is saying, here is how your behavior impacts me. And here is the goodness in you that I trust and want to see more of. This is correction as an invitation, not as a condemnation. I imagine a different approach. She had shouted, you are such a toxic person. You always lock down on others. I am sick of it. You are just like your father. Then even if there is some truth in your observation, the way it is delivered would likely trigger defensiveness rather than reflection. He might fire back. You are too sensitive. People these days cannot take a joke. You are trying to control me. And the conversation collapses into mutual blame. From a spiritual perspective, the difference between those two conversations is enormous. In the first, Sarah is practicing mindful awareness of her own feelings, taking responsibility for them, and speaking from a place of vulnerability and trust. In the second, she is acting from raw reactivity, projecting old pain, and weaponizing our insight. This brings us to one of the most powerful questions you can ask yourself whenever you feel the urge to point out someone's mistake. Before I speak, what is my true motivation? If you are deeply honest, you may find that sometimes the urge to correct comes from a hidden desire to feel superior. You might think, consciously or unconsciously, I am more mature, more spiritual, more rational than this person, and I need to educate them. This attitude is soaked in ego. Then if you use soft words, the other person can feel the judgment. Something in your tone, your subtle body language, your energy will announce, I am above you, and I am looking down. Very few hearts open in response to that. Other times, the urge to correct might come from impatience. You are tired, stressed, overloaded, and the other person's mistake feels like one more obstacle in your path. So you snap, Not because you care about their growth, but because you want them to stop being inconvenient. In those moments, your words are not medicine. They're a way of dumping your discomfort onto someone else. There are also times when the urge to speak comes from genuine compassion. You see that the other person's pattern will lead them into more suffering. You feel a quiet, warm wish that they might be free from that suffering. You are willing to risk their temporary displeasure if there is a chance your words could help them wake up a little. You are fully prepared for them not to like what you say. You are ready to be misunderstood. But even then, you keep your heart soft. You do not bias. You offer. Only you can know which of these forces is at play inside you in any given moment. That is why spiritual practice keeps returning you to self-observation. Seeing your own mind clearly is the foundation for speaking clearly to others. There is an old story from the tradition of a monk who loved pointing out everyone's faults. He was very sharp, very intelligent, and very good at detecting hypocrisy. Whenever he saw another monk acting lazily or selfishly, he would immediately comment on it, sometimes with sarcasm, sometimes with harshness, always with the feeling, I am defending the purity of the path. One day, an older master called him over and said, I hear you have been working very hard correcting everyone. The younger monk puffed up a little, thinking he was about to be praised. Master, he said, the discipline has become very loose, and I feel a responsibility to keep the standards high. The master looked at him kindly and asked, how much time do you spend each day correcting your own mind? The younger monk was taken aback. What do you mean, master? He asked. The master said, it is not difficult to see others' faults. It does not require great wisdom, only sharpness of eye. A real practitioner first spends most of his energy seeing and correcting his own faults. When he is truly rooted in that work, if he still needs to correct others, he will do so rarely, gently, and effectively. The young monk was silent. He realized that he had been using the faults of others as a way to avoid looking at himself. Finding mistakes out there allowed him to feel righteous and important. Facing the mess inside would have been much more humbling. This story is not telling us never to correct others. It is warning us that without inner work, correcting others becomes a spiritual distraction. It turns the path outward instead of inward. You can spend years trying to fix everyone around you, while your own delusions remain untouched. Useful practice is this. Every time you feel an intense urge to criticize someone, pause and ask, where does this live in me? If you are furious that someone is lazy, explore where you avoid effort in your own life. If you are obsessed with someone's arrogance, explore where you secretly inflate yourself. If you are disgusted by someone's lack of discipline, explore where your own discipline collapses when no one is watching. This does not mean you excuse harmful behavior. It means you use it as a mirror. Instead of standing outside the situation saying, look at this terrible person, you step inside and ask, what does this reveal about the shared human condition and about my own patterns? When you begin to see your own flaws with honesty and tenderness, your way of speaking to others naturally changes. You are less likely to change. You are more likely to empathize. You might still say, what you did is harmful, but you will also convey, I know how hard it is to break habits, a struggle too, and I believe you are capable of doing better. From the karmic perspective, the intention behind your speech is as important as the speech itself. Words are actions. It plants seeds. Harsh correction spoken from ego plants seeds of division and resentment. A firm but kind correction spoken from compassion plants seeds of clarity and trust. Even if the person resists in the moment, somewhere in their mind a new possibility has been introduced. Let us look at a more extreme case. Suppose you see a friend engaging in something really serious, like driving drunk regularly, cheating in a way that can destroy their family, bullying someone at work, or flirting with dangerous violence. In such cases, the stakes are high. If you stay silent because you crave their approval, you become complicit in their harm. If you speak with brutal aggression, you might push them further into defensiveness, making them double time. So what do you do? Here, the teaching is that the more serious the fault, the more essential it is to use softness and deep care when you intervene. Because the ego is more easily threatened when big things are at stake. There is more likelihood of backlash, raised voice and pointed finger, like make the person's shame and fear explode into rage. At a quiet voice that says, I am worried about you. I do not want to see you destroy your own life, can sometimes slip past the defenses. Sometimes, compassionate correction is not just a few words. It can mean taking concrete action to stop harm. For example, preventing the person from driving drunk, even if they are angry in the moment, or reporting unethical behavior when necessary. Not from a desire to punish, but from the understanding that boundaries and consequences can be a form of protection for everyone involved, including the one causing harm. In these more serious cases, it is especially important to examine your heart. Are you secretly enjoying the idea that this person will finally be exposed or punished? Or are you grieving that their ignorance has led them to this bind? The same outer action can carry very different karmic weight depending on the inner climate. Of course, there are also situations where speaking up will clearly cause more harm than benefit. If someone is in such a fragile state that any criticism, no matter how kind, will push them into dangerous self-hatred or violence, you may decide that the wiser course is to hold silence and focus on stabilizing them first. If someone is completely unwilling to listen and has the power to retaliate in cruel ways, you may choose to protect yourself and others rather than sacrifice everything in a heroic but ineffective attempt to correct them. Wisdom in practice means learning to discern these nuances. There is no one-size-fits-all rule. Instead, you train your mind to ask 3 questions whenever you face another's fault. First, is my heart clear enough right now to speak without hatred? Second, are the conditions such that my words have a real chance of helping? Third, if I say nothing, will the harm increase significantly? If your heart is not clear, your first practice is to calm yourself. That might mean taking time to breathe, to sit in meditation, to pray, to talk with a trusted friend or teacher, until the red heat of anger cools into the steady warmth of concern. Acting others from a boiling mind almost always burns both sides. The conditions are not ripe. You may wait. Perhaps you choose a quieter moment instead of confronting someone in public. Perhaps you write a letter rather than arguing face to face. Perhaps you show your care in actions before attempting to offer verbal feedback. Hiding is part of wisdom. But staying silent will cause great harm, and your heart is as clear as it can be. Then courage is needed. Sometimes loving someone means being willing to be the bad guy in their story for a while. It may accuse you of betrayal. It may be angry that you spoke up. But if you genuinely acted to protect their deeper well-being, and you are willing to continue holding compassion even in the face of their anger, the seeds of your action may ripen in unexpected ways later. All of this is deeply connected to your own spiritual growth. Every time you navigate the tension between silence and speech, you are being trained in wisdom, compassion, and courage. You are learning how to align your words with your deeper values, how to hold both your own dignity and the other person's dignity at the same time, how to respect karma by neither interfering unnecessarily nor neglecting your responsibility. Over time, if you stay on the path, something subtle begins to shift. In your daily practice, you might see others' faults all the time and feel compelled to comment on everything. In the middle phase, you speak less often but more carefully, choosing your battles and focusing on situations where your words can truly help. In the more mature phase, you may notice that you simply see faults less frequently, not because people suddenly became perfect, but because your own heart has become less reactive. You recognize how often you yourself fall short, and that humility softens your gaze. Eventually, you may taste a tiny hint of that awakened state where the first thing you see in others is not what is wrong with them but the suffering and the longing underneath their behavior. When someone insults you, you might feel the sting for a moment, but then a deeper perception arises. This person is in pain. They are trapped in their own stories. They are doing the best they know how with their current level of awareness. From that place, you may not feel the need to correct them at all, or if you do, your words will be spacious and free of personal hurt. Until that time, the path remains the same. See clearly, Check your intention. Speak when it is beneficial, with as much kindness as you can. Let go of the outcome. Letting go of the outcome is a crucial piece. Any of us secretly expect that if we speak wisely and kindly, the other person should immediately understand, thank us, and change. When that does not happen, we feel frustrated and think, what is the point? I tried to be compassionate and it did not work. But the fruits of your words are not fully in your control. You can plant a seed, but you cannot force it to sprout on your schedule. Sometimes, someone will react badly in the moment, but later, after the ego cools down, they will remember what you said and let it sink in. Other times, they may never consciously credit you, but your words will join a stream of other influences that slowly shape their life. And sometimes, yes, they will reject your correction completely, and you will be left with nothing to do but bless them silently and continue your own practice. From a karmic point of view, your main responsibility is the purity of your intention and the care in your delivery. The rest belongs to the mysterious interplay of causes and conditions. I'll let us come back to you. Think of the most recent time you criticized someone. It can be something big, like confronting a colleague about unethical behavior, or something small, like snapping at your partner for leaving dishes in the sink. Replay that moment in your mind. But this time, instead of focusing on whether you were right or wrong about the content, focus on the state of your heart. Were you tense? Were you trying to win? You secretly enjoying the feeling of being morally superior? Were you afraid? Were you sad? Were you genuinely caring about their long-term well-being? If you discover that most of your corrections come from ego-driven places, do not collapse into shame. Shame is just another trick of the ego. Instead, treat this discovery as a light being turned on in a dark room. That you can see, you can change, you can begin to experiment with new ways of speaking. Next time, before you lash out, take 3 conscious breaths. Let your hand lightly on your belly or heart if you can. Ask yourself, if I speak now, what do I really want for this person? What do I really want for this relationship? What kind of world am I contributing to with my tone and my words? And choose words that point toward that world. You may be surprised. You might find yourself saying something like, I am upset about this, and I want to talk about it. But I care more about our connection than about winning this argument. Or, I see you doing something that worries me, and I am scared to bring it up, but I would feel dishonest if I stayed silent. Or, I know you are capable of greater kindness than this, and I believe in you, even though I am hurting right now. These kinds of sentences are not signs of weakness. They are signs of spiritual maturity. They honor both truth and tenderness. They correct behavior without condemning the person. In this way, every difficult conversation becomes a training ground for awakening. You are not just managing conflicts. You are sculpting your own mind, shaping your own destiny. The more you align your speech with wisdom and compassion, the more your life becomes a channel through which healing can flow, for yourself and for others. And here is a beautiful irony. The more you work on correcting your own mind first, the less urgent the need to correct others will feel. You will still do it when necessary, but it will not come from an anxiety-ridden compulsion. It will come from a calm knowing. It is time to speak, and I am willing to accept whatever comes. Looking from the widest perspective, we can say that the whole question, should I point out others' mistakes, is itself an invitation to wake up from the dream of separateness. As long as you see others as completely separate from you, it is easy to fall into judging them harshly or sacrificing yourself for them in unhealthy ways. When you realize that their confusion and your confusion spring from the same deep ignorance, that their pain and your pain are intertwined in the great web of life, a different motivation rises. You no longer correct in order to control or dominate. You correct as one wave gently guiding another wave back toward the ocean. So next time you notice someone doing something you perceive as wrong, remember this is not just about them. It is about you. It is about who you become in that moment. You become a small ego defending its territory. Or do you become a practitioner training in awareness, compassion, and wise courage? You may still make mistakes. You will sometimes speak too fast, too harshly, or too timid lie. That is okay. You can apologize. You can lie. Even your failures in correction can become part of your practice if you are willing to look at them honestly and gently. As we come toward the end of this long reflection, let us gather the essence into simple, living reminders for your daily life. Seeing others' faults is not a sin in itself. For ordinary people, it is often inevitable. What matters is what you do next. If you use others' faults to inflate yourself, to gossip, to challenge, you are deepening your own chains. If you use others' faults as a mirror to see your own patterns, and as an opportunity to practice compassionate speech, you are walking the path of awakening. Sometimes, the most loving thing is to speak. Sometimes, the most loving thing is to be silent. Only a heart that is willing to keep growing in wisdom can tell the difference. Remember that the ultimate goal is not to become a perfect judge of others, but to become free inside your own mind. The more free you are, the more naturally your presence will help others shift, sometimes without you having to say anything at all. Before we close, I invite you to bring to mind one person in your life right now whose behavior troubles you. It might be someone very close or someone more distant. Instead of immediately planning how to correct them, first see if you can feel their humanity. Imagine their fears, their tiredness, their childhood wounds, their longing to be seen and loved. Let your heart soften. And ask yourself, is there something I need to say to this person? If yes, how can I say it in a way that honors both truth and kindness? If no, what can I transform inside myself so that I am not adding more anger or judgment to the world? If you feel ready, you can take a small step in the coming days. Maybe it is a conversation. Maybe it is an apology. Maybe it is simply changing the way you speak about that person when they are not present. Whatever it is, let it be an expression of your commitment to life with more wisdom and compassion. If this exploration resonated with you, I warmly invite you to share in the comments a situation where you faced the dilemma of whether to speak up about someone's fault. What did you choose to do? Looking back, what did you learn about yourself, your triggers, your courage, your compassion? Your story might give someone else courage to move from blame to understanding, from fear to sincere, kind truth-telling. And if you would like to keep walking together through these deep questions about practice, awakening, wisdom, karma, compassion, and the everyday work of transforming our hearts, remember to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and turn on notifications so you will not miss future long-form reflections. If you feel moved to support this work more directly, you can also consider joining as a member. Your support helps us continue creating thoughtful, heart-centered content for you, and for many others who are quietly seeking a path of real inner transformation. Thank you for staying all the way to the end, for your patience, your sincerity, and your willingness to look not only at the faults of others but at your own mind with honesty and kindness. Until next time, may you learn when to speak and when to be silent. May your words become more and more aligned with compassion and wisdom. And may every encounter with others and mistakes become a doorway into deeper awakening for both you and them.
There are moments when you see something, and your heart simply whispers, "This one is meant for me." Bracelet carries more than beads. It carries intention, protection, and quiet strength. Something to guide your thoughts and keep your spirit steady. If you felt that gentle pull toward any of the bracelets shown, the purchase link is waiting in the description, and the full collection is displayed on our channel store. Follow your intuition. It rarely leads you wrong.